What's going on, everyone? Blue Guy doesn't really do well under pressure, so I've sent him away for this video to go relax somewhere. Hawaii, Antigua, I don't know, just bring back a fridge magnet or something, please. Anyways, another video where I express my disappointment with the state of Minecraft YouTube. Don't mind if I do. This video kinda stemmed from a recent tweet I made that picked up a tiny bit of traction. Not too much though, but enough to where it felt right to explain this stance of mine further. Before I explain this context, I just wanted to say publicly for the first time a big thanks for 8,000 subs. It really does mean the world to me. The goal is to hit 10k by this summer, so if you like what you see, make sure to hit the subscribe button. So here's the story. There's a tweet I saw from a YouTuber named flowtive celebrating a 1 of 10 video, which is great. I do the same thing most times. Not something one should hate, and I don't hate it, but I was actually annoyed by a certain part of this tweet. And you may think, huh? How could this annoy you? He's a happy man. Are you some sad little nothingness who hates seeing others happy? Well, that has a complicated answer that I'd rather not get into right now, but focusing back on Minecraft here, well, my disapproval came into the picture was him throwing in a sentence expressing disappointment with previous video performances, talking about how he lost motivation when his videos were getting barely close to 10,000 views in one day. I responded to it saying how I felt that didn't need to be said, and that one should just express thanks for the 1 of 10 and leave it at that. It seemed like what I had to say maybe hit a little too close to home for some YouTubers. My take got a range of reactions, all negative, predictably. Twitter brings out the worst in everyone, so I try to take replies on there with a grain of salt, and note that's usually not how people are anywhere else. The responses were what you'd expect. A lot of hate baiting, a lot of trying to win brownie points, a lot of nothing responses, and really the only useful bounce back I got from that mess was, he's just celebrating a milestone. Why is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing, which is why I'm using this video to explain my stance further, something I can't do in a single tweet. The thing is, for the average Joe or even the prospective YouTuber, these stats are anything but bad. We're talking about channels that usually pull in thousands, tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of views per video. These channels have view and subscriber counts that most people dream of, yet these creators act as if they're on the brink of obscurity. And it's not just Flo that did it, I saw jooonah do it the other day, and that irritated me even more. I wrote a similar response to it then. Why did no one care about that one? Let's not pick and choose now, come on. Even KSI does it. Look how ridiculous that is. Does this at least irritate you? At least I'm consistent with what I think. When creators mourn perfectly fine stats, it tells me a few things. It tells me that the burdens of success probably cause them to misperceive what normal is, making the less views seem like a crisis. To them, it's bad, but once again, it's not. The perspective looks not just entitled, but also out of touch with the community that built them up in the first place, which a lot of these responses seem to miss in the tweet. You celebrate your success. Good job on that 1 of 10. That's super awesome of you to get, but you can also do it without inferring you're normally disappointed in your current views when said views are better than most people, which is what my tweet said. Just be thankful for the 1 of 10 and leave it at that. Look entitled, not is or are entitled, look. And that's my reading lesson for you all today. Thanks for stopping by. Entitlement, especially on YouTube, is multifaceted. YouTubers on their way to success go through a dangerous mindset change. Most people start with an actual passion for video making, and when success comes, it's often unexpected and satisfying. Over time, success morphs from something celebrated into something expected. It's not unfair to say that if you ever enjoyed a single moment of an overperforming video, you should expect that moment to last forever and thus will feel disappointed when it slows down. I've gone through those same motions a few times, but the general idea comes in many different layers. It's realizing the way we contort our minds to believe that 10,000 views in a day is a downfall, when in reality it's 1,000 people in the first half hour, or 10,000 people in the first day, or nearly 300,000 people in the first half hour, who cared enough about your stuff to stop whatever they were doing and click on your video, even for just 5 minutes. Now, you never see Mr. Beast say,
I broke a view record. I remember the crummy days where each video only had 10 million views in a day.
Right? He doesn't say that. Every time he brings up old stats, he always goes the 100 view, 10 view, or even no view days as a comparison, which I think is much more impactful. I also want to bring up jealousy because to say it doesn't play a factor in my stance is a complete lie. It does, and every single person lets jealousy hang around in one way or another, and it affects them whether they realize it or not. Let's say I started getting 100k views on every video and then got 10k on the next one. Would I still feel the same way? Would I still see the video as a failure despite it getting 10k? I want to say no, I wouldn't. I want to say I'd still be ecstatic to see it reach that, but I don't know. I can't say for sure unless that actually happens, and because I don't have that experience, I'll always have a little bit of jealousy towards those who do have it. It's not hateful jealousy, it's just being a little envious, and that can definitely factor into some of my takes on YouTubers as a whole as well. It was interesting to see that a lot of the people who responded with very little effort not explaining their reasoning for disliking my take were big YouTubers themselves. So is this just something that all YouTubers at one point start doing? I can't see see any logical reason why any YouTuber who actually passed my reading lesson familiar would be against not looking entitled. They've experienced where I'm at with YouTube, but I've never experienced where they've been. I have an excuse there, they don't. They should have first-person experience with my POV and completely get where I'm coming from, but maybe they suppress it at some point? Is it just an insecurity? Are big YouTubers just allergic to being grateful for what they have? I've always prided myself on not being shy about my thoughts. I'm not a news channel or anything, I'm sykesy. While I try to avoid certain topics, what I think is what I say, and there are a whole lot of whataboutisms that I could point out to everyone responding that they're choosing to not get upset at. Was my tweet a little sassy? Sure it was, but that's because you need to have a little bit of attitude, otherwise no one on Twitter will listen to you. Case in point, look upon thy images here. Funny enough, one of the few sensible responses was from Flo himself, explaining his feelings behind the tweet. While I still disagree with his take that views are down for him, it was all I really needed as a response, and I do hope he eventually can appreciate what he has more. As a final word regarding these really silly responses to me, I don't take back my stance. I think my critique was extremely fair, and I hope eventually that can be understood. It strikes a nerve with me to see bigger YouTubers take what they have for granted, even unintentionally. I'm especially not being bullied into changing it. There's no shaky foundation I'm barely hanging on to here. I have solid reasons behind why I feel this way about it, so if you don't like it, that's too bad. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below in the comments, and please actually say things and bring new reasoning to the table if you do so. Don't hate bait, I'll just hide it if you do that, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.